All I'm saying is, I'm not saying get rid of Beth. Beth's been very consistent that she wants to get rid of De Gea. There's a lot of people that want to get rid of De Gea. But I just think it's classless when he's potentially going and you start celebrating, because I don't get that. You've got what you want. You don't think David De Gea is good enough to be our goalkeeper. That's absolutely fine. I can't have an opinion if somebody else has an opinion. That's absolutely fine. But if he does leave, I would implore everybody, instead of celebrating, you've got to look at his career at Manchester United and say, he's been one of our best. He's got more clean sheets than any other goalkeeper in our history. So show some class, because one thing we are as a football club, and one thing that can't be debated, is that as a football club, we are a class football club. So show some class. I'm not actually as sad as I thought it would be. I watched Onana last week and I was like, fucking, he's box office. I'd like that. Costa is a goalkeeper I really appreciate, but I wouldn't have done it because I'm more pragmatic than some people. And I go, we've got a set budget. We need a striker, 2 midfielders and a centre-back. If De Gea leaves, I've got to sacrifice one of those to replace him with a goalkeeper. I've only got a set budget. So for me, the De Gea thing didn't make sense to do. I'm very sad that if he is leaving, there's no departure thing. But he might have gone on holiday. He might have looked at social media. He might have looked at the offer from Saudi Arabia, and he might have gone, you know what, let's do it. And Dean Henderson could be your goalkeeper now. And if Dean Henderson's your goalkeeper, then all the best. All the best, because I don't rate him as our Manchester United goalkeeper. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Tony says that we need a transition period with the keeper because the weight of that jersey is heavy and it took him a few years to get this level, says Tony. Want to keep him or not? Never should have got to a point where he can walk. This again is down to the backroom staff, says Tolja. Fantastic point. Absolutely fantastic point. Anthony Martial is also set to be offloaded according to the articles. Is the spin coming out from the club, says Olivia. I mean, how do you... So there's a really good point there. We won't get any money for David De Gea. He's 32, 33. He's just won the Golden Glove. I don't care whether you can't stand De Gea or whether you like him like me. There's a value there. 10, 15, 20. He's not 35. He's just won the Golden Glove. There's money walking out the door again, which nobody will acknowledge because they're too busy doing their bloody party poppers about it. Martial, I do worry. I worry about what it is we're trying to do, and we've clearly messed up in a way, but it might work out better in the long run. David De Gea must be allowed to do what he wants to do. Same with everybody else, of course. There's no two ways about it. I presume he'll go to Saudi Arabia, but I don't actually blame him. I have a personal opinion, but I don't actually blame him. You look at the stuff Roy Keane has said. Look at the stuff Gary Neville has said. These are ex-players of the club, ex-legends of the club who publicly undermined him. There's no loyalty amongst them lot, is there? And I just think it's sad he won't get a farewell, because I think he's played in a period over the last decade where we've been shit for reasons that weren't his fault. He probably should have 3 or 4 Premier League winners' medals. Like, he was good enough to win them. There were times around 2015 and 16 and 14 where he was winning Player of the Year awards because he was stopping us finishing in the bottom half of the table. So I think his legacy is a good one. I just think some people have shat all over it over the last few months and not shown enough class. You can replace a player. Look, Rooney went and he didn't get shat on. I want a new keeper who's better with his feet, but I've nothing but love and respect for Dave. I'm 26 and he's been the keeper almost half my life, says Joshua. Lovely message, Joshua, there. I fear the post-Schmeichel circus, says Mojo. And Beth is probably too young to remember this dark days before the Great Dane and Van der Sar. This will haunt us next season, says Rob K. I mean, look, I said this a few days ago. Careful what you wish for, because it could be Dean Henderson. And that, to me, is terrifying. What if United say, we can't afford a goalkeeper, Eric? And he goes, well, I'll have to use Dean Henderson. What if Dean Henderson's going to be Man United's goalkeeper next year? because you're gonna be moaning a lot more than you have about David De Gea. So let's keep an eye on this. It's going to be very interesting, but I don't actually care either way what happens, as long as we start becoming a football club again. That's the most important thing, and we're going to struggle to do that, of course, with this current ownership model. I can't speak about... I'm going to have to go to my fucking phone. This is a joke. I can't believe a laptop, which I've been using all season. I mean, it's just... That's gone now as well. This is a joke.